What up, Riot? I hope you're feeling great. I hope you've had an incredible weekend. Our Riot staff and leaders cannot wait to see you at church today. So listen, keep an eye out for us, bring your crew, and come and say hey. For the next 2 minutes or so, I want to share with you some tips how you can practically overcome the temptations that you face. So temptation for all of us is a common theme in life. We all go through it. And if you're similar to me, I know that when I go through temptation, I feel like the whole world is bearing in on me. It feels like a very lonely place. And when I look from the inside out, it seems like everybody else is immune to temptation apart from me. Listen, the Bible clearly states that every single person can be tempted. Even Jesus, the Son of Christ himself, got tempted, but yet remained without sin. That's good news for us, that Jesus overcame temptation, because the same power that equipped Jesus to overcome temptation, the same power that rose him from the grave, is the same power that runs through all of us and all of those that believe in him. So listen, the good news is this, and I want to encourage you with this, is that everybody goes through temptation. So do not worry when you face temptation. It's a normal thing. But like I said, the good news is that because of Jesus Christ, we are now equipped to overcome temptation. So for me, the 3 practical tips that I want to give you, these are the 3 things that I try to follow to the best of my ability when I face my difficulties, when I face my temptations. It's the 3R rule. So let me explain the 3 R's. Number 1 is remember. Remember the reward. Remember the reward of what God has called you to do. You see, God has something so special set aside just for you, that's going to help unveil his glory, unveil his greatness, unveil his goodness. So when you're in that moment and that temptation is staring you right in the face, just sit and slow down, sit and pause, and remember your reward. Just remember that God has something special for you, something greater that you're called to. So even when the enemy, he hangs something that looks so appetizing in front of you, just remember the reward. It's so much easier to resist a cupcake when you know you're on your way to a feast. So number 1, remember the reward. Number 2, the thing that I always try to remember next is to recognize. Recognize the escape route. You see, when you're in that moment and you're facing your temptation, you can either do 2 things. You can either do it, or you don't need to do it. You can either walk through the door of temptation, or you can walk through into a door that leads to freedom, that leads to peace, and that it leads to joy. So when you're standing there in that moment and you know that the reward is there, you can remember the reward. You have to sit and recognize the escape route. Sit and pause, slow it all down. You can chill out and pray to God that he shows you the way out. When he does, it's up to you to recognize it and to walk through it. So number 3 is rest. Rest in God's peace. Once you can remember the reward, once you recognize the escape route, you have to turn to God next. You have to rest in his peace. We work so hard to achieve things. Sometimes as believers, we just got to sit, chill, slow it out, and rest in God's peace. Once you walk out that escape route, that God will show you where it is. Every temptation will have an escape route. Once you walk through that escape route, go to God in prayer. Just thank him, rest in him, ask him to diminish the temptation and allow him to renew your mind so that you can go on and achieve those great things that God has in store for you. If you want a little 4th bonus R, if you want a wee Brucey bonus, number 4 is repeat. Every single time you go through these temptations, repeat step 1, step 2, and step 3. It seems to work for me, and I pray that it works for you as well.